From supernovas to gamma-ray bursts, there's no shortage of ways for Earth to meet its doom. But what would it actually look like if our planet was about to explode? Before we dig into the cosmic catastrophes that could end all life on Earth, let's learn a little bit about how our planet is held together in the first place. The Earth is made up of three main layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. The crust is the rocky outer layer that humans live on, and it is just a tiny fraction of the Earth's total mass. Underneath the crust is the mantle, which is much thicker and makes up around 84% of Earth's volume. The mantle is mostly solid but can flow like a very viscous liquid over time. At the very center of the Earth is the core, which is divided into two parts. The inner core is a solid ball of iron and nickel, and the outer core is a liquid layer of the same elements. It's the movement of the liquid metal in the outer core that generates the magnetic field, which protects us from harmful solar radiation. So what keeps this structure intact? Well, pressure plays a huge role here. The weight of the layers above compresses the Earth's core to around 360,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. That's enough force to keep the core in its super-dense state. In fact, the pressure at the center of the Earth is so great that if you took a teaspoon of core material and spread it out evenly over the surface, it would cover an area the size of Rhode Island. However, if the Earth were to suddenly shrink in size, the immense pressure that holds it together would be lost, and the planet would literally fall apart. In 1980, scientists made a shocking discovery that rocked the scientific community. They found that Earth's inner core was not quite as rigid as they had assumed. Instead, it was wobbling with a bizarre and unexpected rhythm. Every year, the inner core wobbles by around 1 meter or so in response to the changing seasons. Why does this happen? To understand this phenomenon, we need to know a little more about the inner core itself. Earth's inner core is not a perfect sphere. Instead, it has a bulge around the equator that's caused by centrifugal force. Earth's rotation makes the planet wider at the equator. This affects the inner core because it's part of the Earth's overall structure. As a result of this equatorial bulge, there's a tiny bit of extra pressure at the inner core's surface, which reduces the pressure at the center of the Earth by around 120,000 times the atmospheric pressure at sea level. Scientists think that this reduced pressure causes the iron atoms at the center of the inner core to vibrate a little faster, which changes the way seismic waves move through the core and alters the wobbling motion. But if the core is wobbling inside the planet, why doesn't it just fly away? This wobble could potentially turn into a full-blown spin, and the inner core could escape Earth's gravitational pull and zoom out into space. Fortunately, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Any wobble will likely dissipate before it can become dangerous. So while it might be a relief that the inner core isn't about to go rogue, there are plenty of other ways that Earth could explode. Let's start with asteroids. Most people are aware that an asteroid impact could wipe out life on Earth, but few realize that it's already happened in the past. Around 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The impact triggered earthquakes, tsunamis, and unleashed an incredible amount of dust and debris into the atmosphere. These events led to what's known as the Chicxulub impact event, which you may have heard of. It marked the end of the dinosaurs, and around 75% of all species disappeared. However, not all asteroids are created equal. Smaller ones burn up in the atmosphere before they reach the ground, and larger ones tend to break apart into many pieces before hitting the Earth's surface. So the real danger lies with medium-sized asteroids that are around 500 meters wide. If one of these struck Earth today, it could cause catastrophic damage without completely obliterating our planet. For example, an asteroid that's just 30 meters wide can still pack the explosive power of 300 nuclear bombs, and one that's 250 meters wide could destroy an entire city. On the other hand, an asteroid that's about 5 kilometers wide could affect the entire planet. According to NASA, such an event would throw up a lot of dust and gas into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight and cooling the Earth's surface. But would it make the planet explode? Not necessarily. Even if the asteroid is big enough to get past Earth's atmosphere and hit the surface, the explosion wouldn't blow the planet apart. Instead, it would blast a huge hole through the crust and mantle and melt rock deep within the planet. The molten rock would then find its way to the surface, creating gigantic volcanoes that could erupt for months or even years. So an asteroid impact would certainly threaten the existence of human civilization. It probably wouldn't cause Earth to explode. So what if a supernova were to occur? A supernova is the incredibly powerful explosion that happens when a star runs out of fuel. When this happens, the star's core collapses, and the outer layers of the star are thrown into space at high velocities. Supernovas are the most luminous explosions in the universe, releasing as much energy in a few days as the sun will over its entire lifespan. But while they might sound scary, it's actually possible that life on Earth could go on as normal if a supernova occurred close by. That's because the Earth is protected by its atmosphere, magnetic fields, and ozone layer, all of which filter out dangerous radiation. In fact, the explosion of a nearby star might actually help life on Earth when a supernova occurs in a nearby star system. The shock wave of the explosion compresses the gas between star systems, which triggers the formation of molecular clouds. These molecular clouds are where stars and planets form, so life on Earth could actually owe its existence to nearby supernovas. But what if a supernova happened right next door? Astronomers have studied an event called Supernova 1604, which occurred in the M81 galaxy and was visible from Earth with the naked eye. The explosion was so bright that it remained visible in the night sky for months. But the light from this supernova only reached Earth around 12 million years after it occurred. This means that if a supernova happened close enough to Earth, we might be able to see it in the night sky. However, we wouldn't be able to tell if it was happening in our own galaxy or in one of the others. The Earth would truly explode if a gamma-ray burst occurred near our planet. Gamma-ray bursts are the most powerful explosions in the universe, and they emit huge amounts of gamma rays, which are the highest energy form of light. While scientists don't know exactly what causes gamma-ray bursts, they believe that they occur during the formation of neutron stars and black holes. Gamma rays are so energetic that they can penetrate the Earth's atmosphere and destroy ozone molecules in the process. This would cause the ozone layer to thin, and harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun could reach the surface. As a result, life on Earth could become impossible. Fortunately, gamma-ray bursts are rare, and they tend to happen far away from Earth. However, if one occurred in the next galaxy over, it would pose a serious threat to our planet. NASA has calculated that a gamma-ray burst that is around 3,000 light-years away could do a lot of damage to the ozone layer. In fact, it could theoretically destroy the ozone layer entirely, so if a gamma-ray burst were to occur in the Milky Way, it could spell disaster for Earth. Now watch what happens to your body after you die. Or check out what if Earth had a second moon.